Hi there, and welcome back to Triplicate. And today we're going to move on with our remote controlled lorry, the big rig. Last time, amongst other things, we decided that there was no way we could use this steering setup. We just couldn't control it. It's just the way it's set up, it'll only do full lock, off, full lock, and no matter what we do, we can't get it to turn gently. And in a little sort of show and tell and try out video, we tried this little servo, a SG90, and this works quite nicely. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this to drive the wheels. So first up, we need to get the existing motor setup out, which is, I think, well, in the way of the camera can't see there's anything I can do about it. That screw, that screw, and this screw, and I have taken this apart before, and as I recall, could have watched the old video I suppose, but as I recall, once you take this off, there are also small parts which want to fly everywhere. Okay, so I shall, come on, that screw doesn't want to go out of there. Okay, so I'm going to try and zoom in, going the wrong way as always, and try and get the lights on it a bit more. Trouble is, we have black plastic parts next to black plastic parts, which makes them a swine to see. However, what we have what these bits and pieces are called, we have a slot here which moves side to side, so we've got to move that, and we have these two here which need holding in the position, the upright position like that. I've up to now been trying to make it so I can put it back as it originally was. So I now need to ask myself the question, do I want to give up on that? So I can maybe hack this apart, or do I want to make a new mount here so I can take this whole motor assembly off and keep it if I want to replace it? So I will sit here and peer at the job and bring you back when I've come up with some answers. Okay, so here's what I've decided to do. I've decided to make a plate this size, so you draw around this with the 5 holes in, which will just screw into the existing position, and this no longer needed. So I will do some cutting and drilling, and I'll bring you back and show you the results. Okay, here's our bit of leftover mean green front panel, so that fits nicely in there. So I now need 3 holes, one there, one there and one there to mount it, and because these don't reach up as far as that, I'm going to need another bit screwed to the bottom just to catch those, but that's no problem, we can do that. So I shall drill some more holes and I shall bring you back and show you them. Okay, so here it is, screwed down. I've taken the protective film off, it's easier to see through, to mark things, and I don't care if it gets a bit scratched. So 3 screws in. Now these don't reach up, so I'm going to need another piece underneath, screwed to the underneath to support these. That's not a problem. And I'm going to need to cut these corners out because the wheels can't turn currently, but we're getting there, we're getting there. And also the post has been and delivered. Wind that back. On one of these, a new camera clamp, as opposed to using a piece of wood. Going professional at Triplicate, so no more shaky camera shots, hopefully. Okay, so I shall cut this bit to mount the steering on and I shall bring you back. Okay, so it's a few hours later. We got as far as this mounting plate, and I made another plate to go on underneath to catch the top of the steering mechanism, but the trouble is that will get in the way of the servo motor, so I've abandoned that idea, and I am in the first instance going to drill down through here and glue some nuts. Well, I'm going to drill through there and put a screw through to pull the nut up against the bottom and glue the nuts on. Not sure this will be strong enough, and I have ordered some bushes which will be stronger, and I'm not sure I can drill big holes this close to the edge without breaking it, but let's give it a whirl. Okay, so here's the idea. We screw the nuts down, we glue the nuts down to the mounting plate with super glue and use the screw to hold it on while the glue hardens, and hopefully not get glue on the screw so we don't get it out again. What can go wrong? So I have here some gloves on. Take the obvious thing that can go wrong out of using super glue. I need a screwdriver, and okay, here we go. That was a great big load of super glue that came out. I think, I'm doing the camera, that I might have a bit of trouble. And let's screw it out again. Okay, we'll try this one. Yep, that's a lot of super glue that's come out of there. Well, there we go, it's glued on. I will give them, I know it's supposed to set instantly, but anyways, I will give it overnight. Oops, I'm losing my front end. Can stay there. And I'll give it all overnight to set up, and we'll reconvene tomorrow. Okay, it is the next day, and I don't even propose to try and get these screws out of here. What I am going to do instead is chop these screws off parallel with the top of the nut and then drill down through the middle, hopefully through the middle, to get the thread out that way. So that should be easy enough to do because it's just plastic, so I will go and do that and bring you back. Okay, so drilled out the nuts to accept the top of the steering mechanism. Sure, these all have names in the automotive world, but I can't actually think of them. I ought to look them up. Anyway, I've also cut out the backs here so the wheels will go in. The thing is, this wheel is tipped in a little, not sure it shows up so well on the camera, but it is. So I believe I'm going to end up making another one of those. However, I'm going to press on with this one so we can just, well, make all the mistakes this time and get it right the next time. So the next job is to mount this guy about there. Now I am hoping if we it'll do. I am hoping if we mount it with that face on the top of this plate, this will be about the right height, which means I'm going to have to cut out a hole for this bit, not the whole of this bit, and make space to those flanges. So I shall do some more drilling and bashing and bring you back when I have something to show you. Okay, so it's on there. Two little screws to hold it down so it's not going anywhere, and it's got this little arm on the bottom. So what I need now is to drive this thing, and I reckon an M3 screw will go in there. So I need to take this arm and fit an M3 screw through there. And looking at that, that's going to be tight, and we'll try it anyway. Okay, so I have, wrong way as usual, basically a chopped off nail out of one of those things, which currently not glued in, I guess will be glued in, which sits in that gap in that and moves that backwards and forwards. So it's time to assemble it. Well, it's not almost time to assemble it, but before I assemble it I want to modify the software for this, because it only actually needs to move about that far, which is that about 10 degrees either way, to operate the steering, and moving it any further will probably end up breaking something. So I shall zoom out. Oh, we're doing put that like that. Well, mount this in here so it doesn't fall over. Come on. Okay, in camera there? Probably not. So that's on the Arduino, and the wire for the Arduino is plug her in. Okay, so that's completely wrong. However, now if we pull this little white wire out of here, it'll go to its midpoint, which I will now flick this off, get under it, set to about, it's a bit straight on. There we go. Yeah, just zoom you in maybe a tad more. And fire her up again, hopefully. Okay. Right, so I will go away, as I say, and modify the code so this is moving as we need it, and then I will bring you back to see what's happening. Okay, so we have some code ready to go, which just moves it one way 1 degree every second, gets to a predefined maximum, moves it backwards, goes to the other side, just moves it backwards and forwards so we can see it working slowly and gently in case we need to stop it. Oh, and I forgot to say, we're still using the Mega because that's where the test code for the servo was. We will in due course incorporate some code into the Uno for the main lorry. So where were we? Okay, we were just gonna, I was just gonna show you this working with this off upside down, then we'll put it all back together and see if it does what we want it to do. So here we go. I'm not going to trouble you with this code, but it is now going, gone. Alright, so that's turned off. It's still using this wire to switch it on and off, so we will fire it up by plugging that wire into that hole there. And you can see, shall I zoom you in? Oh, I shall zoom you in so you can see it. Okay, so we're going to get some decent resolution on the steering for sure. And back it comes. And off we go the other way. So that's going 10 each way. 10 degrees, that is. And back it comes. So that's doing what we want to do for test purposes. So now we will pull that out and it'll whiz back to its center point, and we will zoom you folks out a bit. I'm just going to center all this on the camera, and we will attempt to put it all back together if I can remember how to do so. Right, that goes like that. Excuse my hands in the way. That wheel goes in there. That wheel goes in there. This assembly, remove the vise out of the way, goes on here. I think I'm going to have to glue that nail in. On there like that. And it down. And we'll look at that top of that wheel. No. Oh, that screws. Come on out. Yep, will it come out? It will. Sorry about the hands. There we go. Screwdriver. Pliers, should I say. Well, that one. Is one going to come out? No. Never mind. Try and improve your view just a little bit. So we need 3 screws. One of which goes in there. Oh, I know what, that's a bigger screw than the others and the hole's not bigger. Hang on. Okay, there we go, she's assembled. So shall I try and get this back in the shot since I need to work it. That's in there. Oh! Well, something's happened. Right, so I don't think I've got enough end-to-end action on there, and I think what I have as 0 is not actually 0. So shall we go for it and double the swing. So this is pre-programmed, so I'm not showing you the computer, but we're now going between 70 and 110 degrees. That's going positive, and it's going left a bit. And it's coming back. Shall we see how far it goes right? Okay, we go a bit more right. That's maximum right. Okay, I'm going to have a play with it and turn you off and bring you back to show you it working to its best advantage. Okay, so here it is. I'm gluing the little chopped off nail into the arm with super glue, but as usual I've blathered a load on, so it's going to take a while to set, so I'm going to leave that for now. In the meantime, I've already said I need to make a new one of these plastic plates because this one's a bit of a mess, and that is not lined up correctly, and I still don't fancy the strength of these glued on nuts. So I want to make one with a little more precision, and it's basically to fit where that fits. So those three mounting holes and these two holes for the steering mechanism need to be in exactly the same place as they are on that. So how do I do that? Well, what I do is I put this on the scanner, and then the picture I take on the scanner has everything in the right place, so I use that to make a drawing. So let's get this set up on the scanner. Okay, so here it is on the scanner as I just described, and this box lid is just to keep it square against the edge, because if you push it right back up against the edge it loses the very edge. So now let us take our image. Okay, so here we are in LibreOffice Draw, and that box is the size that I've measured that plastic part to be, width and height. So if I insert image, steering box 3, that is actually close enough, so I am happy. So now I can draw a circle, take the area off, change the line to red so it shows up, zoom in. Okay, I've zoomed in here on the screw, the end of the screw on the top left hand corner screw hole, and as you can see I've drawn a small red circle round the centre of the screw. So I do that with all the holes I want to drill and put the outlines in around the shape I want, which will roughly follow the outline of the plastic part, and then I make a copy of the drawing and remove the image and print it out on a piece of adhesive back paper, stick it down to the plastic, and it should then tell me where to drill all the holes and cut round the edges. So I guess in a future video I shall show you the finished drawing and the finished cutout part. Okay, so a little nail is glued on. excess glue off. So let us put her all back together. So firstly we want to turn the motor on, because we need to know where we need to set it to straight on to know where to put the arm on. And okay, you can see that's going round in there. You probably can't, so I am gonna turn it off. And I am going to find its little screw to go in there. I'm going to attempt to. That's what's in that bag. That one. And that's one of these. Wait a minute. Get out. Come on. There she blows. Screwdriver. Screwdriver. Okay, so this in here, see if we can zoom her in a bit so you can see better what's going on. So, if I move it so you can see the Arduino, I will plug this back in wherever it goes, there. I did speed this up because it was a bit slow. There we go. And there we have steering happening. So the slot in the steering arm is a bit wide for that small nail that I've used, so when it gets to the middle the servo arm's moving and the steering isn't. There's a big gap in the middle. There is a spring underneath to hold the wheels straight, so that's not too much of a problem. So I might or might not address that. We might just work around it and say, well, there's that gap in the middle. And as I say, I am going to build a new one of these plates, and I have got the bushes I ordered. They have arrived. So I think I shall leave it there for now. Oh, I also have to connect this to the main Arduino for the truck, which shouldn't be too much problem. I might do that off camera. So there we go. I think I might call it a day on this one. So for now it's goodbye from Triplicate. If you enjoy these videos, please subscribe. If you've got anything you'd like to say, leave a comment, perhaps a thumbs up, and I'll catch you next time. So for now it's goodbye from Triplicate, home of interesting electronics.